Okay, this is in connection with the previous natong virtual lecture. We realize nga nung daghan kayo mga research findings nga lisod ni kayo ang complex kayo ang reality nga lisod ni kayo mo come up og open sa trade dayon economic growth ang labas sa country nga participate. So it seems nga ang mga classical theories about international trade seems to be difficult to apply. And you know why? The reason is that di gid nga effect wala gyud epekto ang comparative advantage. You know what is comparative advantage? I already mentioned that in the class several times with you. Ako na nag-explain sa inyong microeconomics. Ako na po nag-explain sa inyong subjects nga ang comparative advantage remain a theory pa theoretical possibility dili siya reality. Although simple kayo ang enticing kayo to believe nga every country kana gini nga basihan nga mag-trade gid sila. Pero actually dili siya because simple kaya mga assumptions nga dili wala gid nga apply sa reality. And this is our lecture today. Classical model doesn't always work due to several unrealistic assumptions, and the real world is so complex. So number one gid ana is kaning gi-ignore na to, no? It ignores transport and trade costs. Okay, it ignores transport and cost, no? It ignores transport and trade costs. Classical theory assumes that the cost of production associated with moving goods between countries are trivial, negligible. Pero in reality, high transport cost, tariffs and other trade barriers can actually cost more, making comparative advantage not applicable. So sa reality, mahal man kayo mag-transport of products and services. Okay? Dayon, daghan pa kayo mga trade barriers, mga itawag ni mga regulations nga it's not easy, no? It will only add cost, therefore comparative advantage doesn't work. Another assumption that is upat man assumption ha. Wala gid mag-real, wala gid siya, it doesn't apply, no? Wala gid siya apply. Another is ang classical theory assumes, okay? Classical theory assumes that there is perfect mobility of a factor input within a country. Labor and capital move freely within a country. So, wala siya, no? The classical model assumes that labor and capital can move freely without cost between industries. Pero balo na ta nga sa reality, doon ang ginagitawag na mag-fractional unemployment. Doon na po na structural unemployment resulting from a change in the industry. Okay? Nag-shift lugar ang mga trade patterns between one industry to another, causing structural and fractional unemployment. So, naagi ng mga naagi gitawag ni mo mobility of factor inputs moving from one industry to another, causing job displacement in other industries. Pero wala na siya. It doesn't exist sa reality, sa classical model. Pero sa reality, it is happening. No? Kanang gitawag ni mong job displacement. Okay? Characterized by the movement of capital or labor from one industry to another. So in that case, that is again tantamount to saying goods and services movement of goods and services from one country to another also cause job displacement and additional burden, no? Additional cost sa mga seller or sa ekonomiya. So, muna siya ang number 3. Ganda siya. It ignores transport and trade costs, assumes perfect mobility of factors within a country. Therefore, it disregards international factor mobility. No? International factor mobility and assumes constant return to scale. So, ining number 3, disregard international mobility. Classical model assumes that the factors of production, simply like labor and capital and land, are immobile between countries. No? Dili siya, for example, dili ni mo matransfer ang land from one country to another. Okay? Dili mo matransfer ang labor from one country to another, which is not true. Dagan magkagani sa ato ang gitawag og brain drain. Mga professional sa mato sa laing country para dito manarbaho. Sa real world, no? Sa real world, ang capital resources are moving from one country to another. Ito na ginagitawag ni mo capital flight. Ang capital ga move from one country to another, as well as labor. To a lesser extent, gani siguro ang labor, no? Movement of labor from one country to another. Kanang gitawag ni mong labor migration. So therefore, it will affect how the products are made, and therefore mag-change ang demand, no? Mag-change ang demand, so ang labas, it will affect, no, economic development and economic growth. So daghang kaayo mga assumptions nga gi-violate sa classical model. And then the classical model assumes that kinibitang productive efficiency is constant. Okay, kanang production efficiency is constant. Okay, regardless kung pila ang i-produce sa seller. Pero kabalutang kung daghan ang maproduce sa seller because of economies of scale, ang unit cost mag-decrease. So mag-decrease ang unit cost, mag-increase ang production. This is one thing i-ignore sa classical model. And this affect global competition. Ang mga capital-intensive companies or firms in other countries are actually more competitive compared mo sa ubang country. And that is why trade patterns, dili gid mo iral lang gitawag ni mo free trade. dili siya ga kahitabo tungod kay dili man mo reach og agreement ang mga countries. And that is the reason why katong last na to nga duhal nga multilateral trade agreements between participating countries. Actually, at that time, ang World Trade Organization was comprised of 164 countries. Dayon, ang una ni backdown ang United States. Sila man ang sila ang ga-open, silang unang nag-move out. Ang China, dili man nag-apil, ang China daan na. Dili nag-apil. Pating Russia. So, karon natay gitawag BRICS, Britain, Russia, India, and then you have China and South Africa. Mag-una po na siya, regional bloc, gitukod. Wala na tong WTO. Marag ang WTO na awang yapong excess, pero ang last round yun, ang Doha round, wala. Ni-collapse yun itong Doha round in 2008 to 11, no? Nag-collapse in 2011. So, kinanglan na to, inunduman nga, dili gid nga kuan ang theory of comparative advantage, dili go work sa reality. Because, okay, because of the unrealistic assumptions, and the real world is complex than simple as the classical model think of. So there are real world factors that undermine the classical theory. Okay, so muna itong topic, the real world theory. Example is exchange rate, no? Discussion na ni exchange rate. Exchange rate is volatile. And the real world exchange rate is volatile. Okay. Alright. Ang classical model assumes that exchange rates doesn't move. Exchange rates are stable. However, currency fluctuations can change the cost of import and export. Therefore, it will alter or even eliminate the theory of comparative advantage. No, change mo ng exchange rate, therefore it will immediately affect import and export value. And therefore, it will eliminate the country's comparative advantage. Okay. Another assumption is there is an equal distribution of gains. Okay. Now, while trade is based on comparative advantage, okay, and therefore, because of comparative advantage, mo increase lugar ang production sa world. Now, ang benefits na ma-distribute equally. Munang assumption sa classical nga distribution of wealth that is produced because of comparative advantage are equal throughout. It will spread globally, no? Now, this is not happening, no? This is not happening in reality. Because in reality, developing countries nahimo rin ng dependent on producing cheap raw materials para sa Pilipinas. We used to export raw materials to other countries. While ang mga developed countries, gigamit nila ilang market power to set the prices, okay, to set their prices. And this will lead to unfair terms of trade Therefore, increasing income inequality throughout the world. No? Unang na yung gitawag din yung mga the rich country become richer, the poor country becomes poorer. Ano man, ang ilang mga produkto becomes cheaper. Okay? So, it is not happening. Distribution of wealth around the world is actually unequal, no? Ang gain sa trade, ang benefit sa trade is not distributed equally. And then, over-specialization and dependency. Now, kung imong tanaw ng comparative advantage, na because of comparative advantage, ang one good assumption na mag-specialize ang country, di ba? Tawag niyo mo nag-specialization. Now, of a single product or service. Okay? Now, what happened? This will make economy vulnerable to global prices and global shocks and supply disruption and resource depletion. No? Kaya mag-specialize mo ang country o focus sa produce sa service or probably two products which makes vulnerable to global price change. Kanang itawag ng mga economic shocks. Dayon, supply disruption, dayon dali mag-deplete ang resources niya. So, muna isang mahitabo over specialization and dependency. So, dili maayo ang comparative advantage because it will create over specialization and dependency of one country to another. No, we will become the mercy, especially sa mga countries that are capital intensive. So we will remain exporter of raw materials, and will remain net importer sa ilang mga produkto. So, unang hitabog gani sa ASEAN, no? ASEAN countries are actually, in general, net importer sa mga equipment, mga computer, mga capital equipment, gikan sa mga first world countries. Okay, so, yun, no? Tanaw sa ni mga political and strategic considerations. Well, tanaw ni mo ang consideration sa national security. For example, ang China gikuha mo nila ng Taiwan, nga naman maraming ginakablock ng China, ang Taiwan sa China sa Pacific, Indo-Pacific, pati nang gitawag ni mo og first chain o dunay chain from Taiwan, Philippines, and Japan. Kita ni mo mga isla nga nag-proliferate na diha ang mga American military. So maglisod ang China og export sa ilang mga or import sa mga kinahanglan nila nga mga raw materials tungod kay gibabagan man karon sa first line o first economic chain. Kita nang mo ng economic chain. Pulos mo lang mga United States military ko na diha. So, it imposes trade restrictions like tariff, for example, or domestic industries. Therefore, it runs counter to the principles of comparative advantage. So, it's not happening. Doon na yung mga political and strategic consideration, especially national security and economic policies, okay? And rent-seeking behavior of one country that supersede, okay, international trade. That supersede in international trade. So, ang labas, wala comparative advantage. Principles of comparative advantage doesn't work in reality. Another is environmental and labor standards. No? The pursuit of lower cost through comparative advantage may lead to companies to exploit countries with less stringent, less stricto, no? Less rigid labor and environmental regulation. Na mga countries nga dili kayo stricto sa ilang labor and environmental consideration. Ang resulta, taas ang human and environmental cost. So kung imong i-factor out na siya into simple cost calculation, wala yun comparative advantage. Kaya taas man ang environment cost, taas man ang human cost. Okay? So, wala gina siya mahitabo sa reality. No? For example, I think barato man siya sa China ang labor. So, dahil sa iyo sa China, pag flood o mga produkto dito sa mga countries like, for example, Philippines, no? Mga Chinese products, dali kanya i-dump, no? Dumping. Kaya barato mo na niyang labor, dili mga-stricto sa ang labor kayo sa China. So, you see, kanang dumping is actually barrier man na sa trade. It's considered unfair trade practice. Therefore, it will kill off the comparative advantage. Ang result, wala mahitabo nga trade. No. Another is power dynamics and market imperfection. Classical theory fails to account for how market power and trade barriers, including subsidies, distort sa trade patterns and create disadvantages for smaller country like the Philippines. No? So in short, ang comparative advantage, this one, is largely static. Muna isa, dili ni siya dynamic. It is a static model and fails to account for how a country's advantage can change over time. It does not explain how governments or companies can actually foster new areas of specialization through investment in technology, education, and infrastructure. Right? So, this dynamic evolution of trade is known as dapat dili static dynamic comparative advantage. So, ang comparative advantage is a static model. Ang change ang world, mag-change po ang comparative advantage. In other words, global binagaroon kay computer na gidaligat change ang trade flow. Dapat mag-change po ang comparative advantage. But comparative advantage is a static model. And therefore, it will not apply because the real world is so dynamic and so complex. So that's the reason why nganong maglisod yung carry on trade, international trade, because of many barriers. Dayon nag-collapse ang Doha Qatar nga trade agreement. Dayon wala na WTO. It used to be World Trade Organization. It used to be a multilateral trade agreement among participating countries. At that time, there were about 100 plus mga participate. Then later on, hinay-hinay. Hantod nga ni undang ang mga judges, itong appellate judges sa WTO, kaya dili man mo apply ang rules. Dili man mo come up ang mga country, participating countries mo come up og consensus. So, walay consensus na itabo, walay uniform consensus nga na-agreed upon sa mga participating countries. So dili na mo mag-wonder nga maglisod gyud ang international trade, although naghagatang mabasa nga mga theories man daghang kay mga theories sa international trade, but the reality is there are so many barriers, no, daghang kay barriers ang international trade. Doon na tayo gitawag og political boundaries, doon na po tayo gitawag og natural barriers, kana mga economic distance, mga natural factors ba that affect trade. Gawas na po tayo superficial differences, no? Natin mga superficial differences like differences in language, differences in currency, and pricing method, no? Lahi. Doon na po tayo mga economic factors, no? Nganong dili good nga dili nga work out ang comparative advantages. So because of these natural barriers, no. Okay, so that clarifies that, no. Hopefully patay nakita din marag dark kaya itong mga generalization na nakuha. So anyway, thank you very much and good morning.